Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we have another video. And this game is from round 4 of the Super United Rapid and Blitz tournament, currently being played in Croatia. And it is Magnus Carlsen versus Ali Reza Firouzja. And Carlsen opens the game with the white pieces with the move d4, the queen's pawn opening. Knight to f6 from Firouzja, which is the Indian game. c4 and e6, which is the East Indian defence. g3 from Carlsen, and we go into the Catalan opening. d5, so opening up the position, so controlling this square and attacking the c4 pawn, maybe asking for a trade. And from here we have bishop to g2, which is the Catalan opening closed variation. Bishop to e7, and we have knight to f3. Castles from Firouzja and Carlsen, and we have the classical line with the move d captures on c4, so we have an early trade in the game. Queen to c2, threatening this pawn on the c4 square, and from here we have a6, a4, and we have bishop to d7. Queen captures on c4, regaining the pawn back, and we have bishop to b6, adding pressure to the knight on this f3 square. Now from here we have bishop to g5, threatening the knight on f6, and we have bishop to d5, threatening the queen, and the queen moves back to c2, keeping its position on the c file. Bishop to e4, attacking the queen. Queen to c1, knight to c6, and rook to d1. Bishop captures on f3, bishop captures on f3, knight captures on d4, and now we have reached an interesting position here. So, if white from here plays an ordinary move, so other than this bishop here, or moving the king, say for an example that e3 was played, then this would be bad, because first of all, this would be check, picking up this piece here, and then, so after this move check, the king is going to have to go to a square such as g2, and from here, the knight could pick up the piece on g5, and this would be a material advantage by 7 points. So going back in the position here, white needs to think carefully, so to avoid this fork with the bishop and the king from being taken on this square here, don't move this piece. Instead, if you played a normal move such as moving a piece, a pawn, or if you move the king to a different square, then this wouldn't resolve in a check, would it? So say for example you played this, then this would still be an advantage for black, because this would be an advantage for white, because then the queen could be captured. So going back in this position here, what needs to be played from white is king to g2. So the point is here, if this capture tries to take place, then it's just not gonna work, is it? Because after this takes place, this wasn't the best move in the position, as you can see. The best move would be captures, and then from here black would try and regain material. So this move king to g2 is a very beneficial move. So from here we have e3, strengthening the knight, and we have e3. So from here we have knight to b3, rook captures on d8, knight captures on c1. So now the point is there's a trade of queens. Rook captures, and we have bishop captures, and the material on the board is equal. So basically there's a knight for bishop, so white has the bishop pair, and it looks quite aggressive here. And we have rook 8 to a7, so attacking this bishop, forcing it to move, and we have bishop to f3, retreating along the diagonal. Now we have h6, and knight to d2, knight to d3, bishop captures on f6, bishop captures on f6, and bishop to e2, attacking this knight. So now the point is this pawn couldn't be taken, so now what white is going to do is place some pressure onto black by playing rook to a2, and now we have c4, and now white regains the pawn. Knight captures on c4, knight captures on c4, and bishop captures on c4. a5, and we have rook to d2, rook to c7, adding pressure to this bishop, and from here what needs to be played is rook to c2. So now from here, a move that could be played in the position is the bishop moving back to this d3 square. So the point is adds pressure to the rook whilst being defended by the bishop. From here we have g6, moving the king's side forwards, and from here we have bishop to d3, adding pressure to the king's side. Rook captures, bishop captures on c2, and king to g7. So here it looks quite boring, because what we see on the a file we see two pawns that are pretty much stuck. We see both the kings over here, and they're surrounded by all their four pawns. And pretty much what the most activity on the board is probably just these bishops just eyeing down each side of the board. And from here we have h4, and we have g5, and h captures on g5, and we have g4. Bishop to c3, bishop to d3, bishop to b4, bishop to c2, bishop to c3, and bishop to d3. And it was in this position on move 36 that both players decided to draw, because there's nothing more to be done in this position. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.